this situation. You at a football game, thousands of people there, all of them white. The American flag is right above your head. They're about to play the national anthem. All these people turn around and look you dead in your eye. What do you do?
I stand up. You know, I'll probably be so embarrassed to, you know, stand up, you know what I'm saying?
So they got you running for the school, huh?
Yeah, partial scholarship.
And if you don't run, you don't get no tuition, right?
That's the way the system goes.
Run, nigga, run.
Well, folks, this is the best show on Blog Talk and the best show on the internet. Shut up! Nobody, and I mean nobody, tackles issues like inflammatory talk. Shut up! And Mr. Midnight Movie. Shut up! And Jewish producer.
Hello, son.
Shut up! We tackle the things that nobody tackles.
Hello, son.
Demand answers.
Hello, son.
Stop walking on eggshells. Shut up!
Hello, son.
Goofy Bone can get off his bloviated fat enchilada ass and start talking about La Raza.
Hello, son.
Jocking it. Pimp Daddy Joe Pete. Jocking it. Pimp Daddy Joe Pete. Whipping the skippy all day long.
We're making a movie about white guilt. We're going to examine all these facts. Shut up! The civil rights movement today basically protects criminals.
Okay, stop interrupting me.
We're making a movie about white guilt.
Okay, stop interrupting me.
Shut up! We're making a movie about white guilt.
Done in a beautiful fashion. The documentary, at the same time, both prose and poetry.
It's not the noble movement that it was.
I'm above you on all these issues. I've been to the military. I have served in the capacity to protect your rights to bloviate. To protect your rights to bloviate.
Who are you to tell me what my style is, you meth addict?
I've been to the military.
How do you know I'm a meth addict?
I'm above you on all these issues.
How do you know I'm a meth addict?
You haven't served in the military. In fact, you wouldn't be fit for the military.
I'm a racist, and I don't consider myself an especially evil person.
What's this got to do with the price of rice in China?
Well, I'm just telling you, I'm a better man than you are.
You're a narcissist. We've established that.
Okay, stop interrupting me. You could not defend the very rights you enjoy. You are the ultimate invalid.
I put stock in you.
I'm wondering why Mr. Solutions isn't on Debbie Daly's show.
What's this got to do with the price of rice in China?
Money. I'm into aviation. Money.
Power.
Man boobs.
Shut up.
I see why Sick the Tank daddies kicked his ass and kicked him out of the house early on.
Man boobs.
Shut up.
I'm going to talk over you as loud as I can. I've got my speaker full blast to blow you away.
Shut up.
Mr. Midnight Movie.
My name is Delano. I have killed Mr. Midnight Movie. I stabbed that son of a bitch.
This is
money.
Power.
Money.
Power.
Tired.
Money.
Power.
Money.
Power.
Well, we've put it off long enough. We're waiting for the crowds to roll in, and they're just... maybe they're here. They're just very, very quiet.
Maybe they are here, and this is Inflammatory Talk. Sure I am your host, the inflammatory but diplomatic Mr. Midnight Movie, and my co-host, the equally inflammatory and diplomatic Jewish producer.
Very well done. Yes. How you doing? This is another Wednesday show. So far, our Wednesday shows have been really doing much better, I have to say.
Absolutely, they have been doing well. The show with Colin Flaherty just showed, like that we are gaining traction,
right?
In on this, and. Yeah, so I want to just... So on April 29th, John Singleton was removed from life support, and he died at 51 years of age after suffering a stroke. And I just want to say that John Singleton, when I first saw his films, I was a fan and I liked them. But as I've grown older and I've become red-pilled, I've kind of realized that this is all basically part of the civil rights industrial complex. Basically, John Singleton was raised in the school system and raised up, maybe even within his family, to preach a sort of victim-style mentality and believe that America will always be against him. I mean, this is what the left preaches, and this is also what the civil rights industrial complex preaches. It doesn't preach brotherhood. It preaches victimhood. Bottom line, end of story. And one of the things that they've begun to really do, this civil rights industrial complex, is they've taken hold of the mainstream media, and the alternative media, it's starting to drastically censor. Because they've also taken control over much of corporate America. Any Fortune 500 company has a civil rights division there, has a diversity division there, and they are steeped in censorship. They do not want transparency, and they do not want you answering any questions. Once you become red-pilled and wise to them, you become a target. If you speak out, you become an absolute target. And this has been Tim Pool, by the way. God, I'm spitting into my mic again, folks. I apologize for that. But Tim Pool, by the way, has been really documenting the censorship that has been going on in the tech industry with YouTube, Facebook, and the like. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. All of these groups are major censors. And they all have, like I said, they all have civil rights divisions within their departments. And their departments are not for transparency, they're for indoctrination. And anything that goes against that kind of indoctrination will automatically get censored. So, you know, I first became aware of Spike Lee, and not Spike Lee, but John Singleton with his movie Boys in the Hood, which debuted in 1991. It had a very good-looking cast, by the way. That was the one thing. The women on there, both dark-skinned and light-skinned, very attractive. And I'm assuming that the women and the men in the film were also considered attractive male stars as well. And it's you know, when I first saw it, I thought it was an extremely, you know, gripping and really really kind of about life in the inner city. And then when I look at it again, and as I become red-pilled, this is a very leftist, very much hypocritical. There are scenes there that, if you really question them, are very racist against the white populace and very anti-conservative. Do you remember much of Boys in the Hood, JP?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I remember it. I remember wanting to see it because it might teach me something about, you know, real life in L.A. And, you know, because where I'm from the San Fernando Valley, as you know, a city adjacent to Los Angeles and about a little bit of a drive, 45-minute drive to South LA, maybe an hour. And so as a kid, I was sheltered from any of that kind of lifestyle more than you were over where you grew up.
Yeah, no, I grew up in a...
You were close.
But, you know, I mean, the white, the white guilt was very strong, was indoctrinated. I mean, the civil rights industrial complex, particularly along with the mainstream media, because I remember seeing the miniseries Roots on television. By the way, Roots, by the way, is a plagiarized. Alex Haley actually. Do you want to plagiarize? Yeah, go ahead.
Do you want any calls right now, or do you want to finish your point?
I want to finish my point. I don't want to go too long on this, because the show's not going to be that long. And
Angela wants to talk to you.
I understand that Angela wants to talk to me. I just don't want to go. One of the things I don't want to do is I don't want to go too long. We're going to be doing the same thing on our Blog Talk radio station, but I want to make, just for the audience on YouTube, I don't want this thing to be really too long.
Right. I
agree. It's more. No offense, but it's more for the audience. If
we get away from this scumbag, this topic or this guy, the quicker we can get away from it, the better. If you ask me.
Yeah. Well, to me, like I said, this is the topic of the show, and I don't want to veer off.
Right.
I don't want to veer off any topic. You know, if we have anybody on the show, I want them to be prepped and talk to you before we go on to that. And I do appreciate Angela's wisdom, and we will have her on. We will have a call-in show on our Blog Talk show, and even we can even have her on Spreaker on that portion. But on this portion, just due to the fact that it's going to be on YouTube.
Yes.
And the last show, when we did a call-in show, the sound quality on Blog Talk wasn't that good. That's why we're not doing a Blog Talk show, simulcasting our Blog Talk show with our but we're going to do a little bit of the same thing on our Blog Talk show, just to get some listeners in there and some talk. But I really want to stick to.
I think from now on, if we meet with I think in any of our interviews, I think we should at least do a segment or a portion of that interview, just isolated recording.
But I don't want you only because I want to, like I said, and it's no offense, but I want to narrow and cut it down to the basics, because a lot of times when I'm taking a call, what happens is it diverts to other subjects, and I'm not interested in that. So
I hear you.
And Angela says Boys in the Hood was a crappy movie, but
tell them not to worry about the interest rate. The interest rate.
Wait, JP.
Yep.
Let me and I'm going to play I want you to play the scene. Let me introduce it. This is one of the most, and it's a well written scene.
It is, and
it's a well put together scene. But I'm going to have it, because you can only listen to it. We can't show it, because it's not. But
right.
I'm going to have that thing listened to, and then I'm going to dissect and tell you my beliefs and why this is a real sort of there's kind of a hypocrisy going on. So, JP, if you can start that scene from the beginning. This is Boys in the Hood and the father talking about gentrification. Okay.
Can you see it?
Oh, let me. Yeah. Oh, wait. Let me. Yeah, I can see it. Go ahead.
Tell them not to worry about the interest rate. The interest rate hasn't moved 2% in 5 years.
Furious Styles Finance.
Talk to you later. So, how you guys think you did on the test?
All right, I guess.
Most of those tests are culturally biased to begin with. The only part that's universal is the math. You boys must be hungry. I'm real surprised to see you down here.
Came to see you. See how you doing. How's business going?
Well, there's always business. Just not always in here.
So, what do you do, Furious? I mean, what? You help people get money for their homes or what?
Well, there is no or what. That's what I do, Rick. You boys want to see something?
Do we have a choice?
No.
Back in the motherfucking house, kicking a straight gate and shit for the 9-1, you know what I'm saying?
So what is he priming them for?
Well, so he's going in front of a vacant lot. He's driving his VW Bug in front of a vacant lot.
Right. Lawrence Fishburne, by the way. He's taking Cuba Gooding Jr. and the other dude. And so they're here in South LA in an open lot.
Yes.
Growing up in the hood, yeah, boy, 1984.
This is where the learning begins.
This is where their indoctrination begins. Go ahead.
Hey, man, I don't know about all this Furious. Guys walking around motherfucking Compton and all, man.
Rick, it's the 90s. Can't afford to be afraid of our own people anymore, man. Would you two knuckleheads come on? Why don't y'all take a look at that sign up there? See what it says? Cash for your home? You know what that is?
Billboard.
What are y'all, Amos and Andy? Are you stepping and he's fetching? I'm talking about the message, what it stands for. It's called gentrification. It's what happens when the property value of a certain area is brought down.
All right, this is a pretty powerful moment.
Yes, they're talking about gentrification.
This is a concept a lot of people didn't know about at this. I don't think gentrification was much of a topic until this movie.
No, well, it wasn't in leftist circles, but it kind of came out. And like I said, Boys in the Hood is kind of the godfather, so to speak, of inner city movies. It was really the first of its kind, and it had a lot of. It had quite a bit of people who inspired to make other forms of basically hood movies. The next one being Menace to Society. Continue.
To bring the property value down. They can buy the land at a lower price. Then they move all the people out, raise the property value, and sell it at a profit. Now what we need to do is we need to keep everything in our neighborhood, everything, black. Black owned with black money. Just like the Jews, the Italians, the Mexicans, and the Koreans do.
Ain't nobody from outside bringing down the property value. It's these folk shooting each other and selling that crack rock and shit.
Well, how you think the crack rock gets into the country? We don't own any planes. We don't own no ships. But we are not the people who are flying and floating that shit in here. I know every time you turn on the TV, that's what you see. Black people selling the rock, pushing the rock, pushing the rock. Yeah, I know. But that wasn't a problem as long as it was here. It wasn't a problem until it was in Iowa, and it showed up on Wall Street where there are hardly any black people. Now, if you want to talk about guns, why is it that there's a gun shop on almost every corner in this community?
Why?
Tell you why. For the same reason that there's a liquor store on almost every corner in the black community. Why? They want us to kill ourselves. You go out to Beverly Hills, you don't see that shit. But they want us to kill ourselves. Yeah, the best way you can destroy a people, you take away their ability to reproduce themselves.
Yeah.
Who is it that's dying out here on these streets every night? Y'all.
Yeah.
Young brothers like yourselves.
What am I supposed to do? Fool roll up, try to smoke me? I'm gonna shoot the motherfucker if he don't kill me first.
You're doing exactly what they want you to do. You have to think, young brother, about your future. Huh?
Okay. It's not... Yeah, I mean, again, who is the face of gentrification? And who is the face of diversity? You know, one of the questions that, you know, like you have to say is gentrification. People of European descent and white people are the face of gentrification. Blacks and other minorities are the face of diversity. Basically what they're saying is what's mine is mine and what's yours, well, that's for everyone. And yeah, it's just kind of a sorry state of affairs. And I'm hearing the background go again of Discord. Now there was a little bit of drama going on in Discord. Yeah, he was 23 when we directed. So when he directed it.
Today's been no fun on Discord. So our favorite server, Internet Somalia, got taken down.
Yeah, but we don't know why that is. But
we don't know why. Know why. But then, somebody called me. Said my shows were boring.
Well,
go to hell.
Yes, go to hell. And maybe our shows are boring to you.
Yes.
But I just want to say that I'm going to make this a really short show here. Because I don't want to repeat myself. But John Singleton, and he had a lot of really, really nasty views. He had the gentleman, he would often, he was on a forum with a gentleman who helped Reginald Denny get hit with a brick. He basically said that he hoped O.J. Simpson would do okay after his arrest and release from jail. A man who murdered 2 people. And like I said, there's a lot of things that go deep down the rabbit hole. And I remember because I made criticisms of his film Higher Learning. Can we play that one clip again that we played in the beginning of Higher Learning? And I want to get into that real quick again, just so we can show, this man was basically, he was a leftist, and he was schooled by the...
was it that one?
Yeah, it's the one with Ice Cube and play that clip.
It's just a minute long.
Yeah.
Check out this situation. You at a football game, thousands of people there, all of them white. The American flag is right above your head. They're about to play the national anthem. All these people turn around and look you dead in your eye. What do you do?
I stand up. I'll probably be so embarrassed. Stand up, you know what I'm saying?
So they got you running for the school, huh?
Yeah. Partial scholarship.
And if you don't run, you don't get no tuition, right?
That's the way the system goes.
Run, nigga, run.
Now, and I don't mind. Look, I wasn't a fan of that, and I wasn't a fan of the movie. I thought that film was in this film. He decided to do this after the riots, the '92 riots in L.A. And, I don't mind that film, but the thing is, another alternative cannot be seen. Now, and this was because the mainstream media was already controlled by the civil rights industrial complex. I'm going to do a whole thing on the leftism and the communism and how communism never left the film industry. There's a person actually who did a whole thing on that about... the film and McCarthy did not oversee the film, the movie industry or the Screen Actors Guild or anything like that. That's all untrue. It's all propaganda nonsense that the mainstream media put forth. But I'm going to come back later to this. There are things that go down the rabbit hole on why Hollywood is as leftist as it is, And I think we'll end it there, JP. Is there anything else to add? I'm going to make this a really short show. But the thing about this is there is no, right now they're attacking any form of alternative media that goes against these types of filmmakers. I mean, he's the mainstream.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the mainstream.
He is for sure. Any other points, or are we done?
That's it.